Hey, what's happening, guys? It is a beautiful spring day in Ohio. So before we start the video, I just thought I'd show you a picture of one of my favorite things is when the trees bloom again and things turn green. Makes my heart happy. Up there you can actually see State Route 7 that runs maybe 100 yards from my house, not very far away, and we hear the truck traffic 24 hours a day, but it doesn't bother me. Sure beats the trains at the last place. Alright, let's go in and we'll get on work on today's project. Oh, looky there, it's everybody's friend Dogly. Hi, dogs. Should we do a project? Okay. Dog says she has to go out first, then we'll do a project. Alright, we've taken care of dog and now we're on to project time. Okay, today's project is talking about this guy right here. The very odd looking 4-pin IC, the PC817, which is an optocoupler. A really cool device. Now, if we turn our board this way and we look at it like this, the little chasm here in the middle, no man's land, where we bridge our ICs over. In this case, these two sides of the IC are 100% separated. There's no electrical connection in there. So how is the power going into this 100 ohm resistor and then into this pin, coming out this pin over here on the other side? Well, I'll show you. It's really simple and very cool, actually. So we'll get a nice piece of papel here. Then I gotta grab a pen. So, what we've got inside that IC and this is the one side. Those are pins 1 and 2. So what we have here is simply an LED. And then on the other side, pins 3 and 4. Or is this 3 and 4? This is 3, and that's 4. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Is like, it looks like most of a transistor. And what this is a photosensitive transistor. So when these little photons come shooting across from this LED, yeah, those are my photons, they strike where the base would be here, and they allow current to flow from the collector out through the emitter and probably to ground. So here's the actual pinout for the one we're using, the PC817. And just like I draw it, you can see here pin 1 anode, pin 2 cathode, pin 4 collector, pin 3 emitter, and it looks just like this. And all you need to remember about the PC817 is this. It is rated for a 5 kilovolt isolation. Now that's pretty cool. So let's take a look at what we got here. And I will put this together so you guys can see it. Okay. All right, so here is our PC817. Let me get some more light. Okay, so here is our PC817. I'm going to try and zoom in here as best I can. There we go. See it says PC817. And where's my pointy stick? Here it is. I don't know how well you can see this because it's stupid hard to see on here. There's your dot. So that is pin 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So let's put them down here. Hopefully I do this right. So here's how we hook it up. We're going to limit our current for the LED with a couple of 100 ohm resistors. There's pin 1 again with the dot. Pin 1 we take directly to VCC. And then pin 2 is our ground. So we just put it right there, just like that, into the ground. So now we are supplying, well, if we power this up, we are now supplying a current into here. But remember, we've got that gigantic chasm across there. So what do? Well, let's get pin 3. And we will run pin 3 to ground as well. So that's going to be the ground for our LED. Now we have, oops, dropped my LED. Now we have our lead here. In this case, I use a blue, and you can use whatever one you want. The cathode is going to go into pin number 4, just like that. And then I'm going to use another 100 ohm resistor from VCC, just like I showed you in the beginning. I don't want to go in there. That's the problem with these super cheap breadboards. Sometimes you gotta finesse them a little to get them going right. Okay, so now we're gonna hook up our ground first. We always hook up the ground first. And what the heck did I do wrong? Because something is not working here. Which one of you caught the problem? I put the ground in the VCC instead of putting the VCC in the ground. So it can behave like a transistor. You know, you can have totally different VCCs for each of these. And all you need to do is put a little bit of voltage in there, and you can open this up. Let's talk a little bit about the PC817's ratings and whatnot. We'll go over to the computer and take a look at the data sheet. Okay, so here we are looking at the PC817X series DIP 4-pin general purpose photocoupler. And if we can see the description, it is an IRED optically coupled to a phototransistor, which I just showed you. It is a 4-pin DIP package, which is odd. You know, mostly we see 8 pins. It's not often you see a 4-pin. Double transfer mode package. High collector to emitter voltage. So they can run this thing up to 80 volts. We'll take a look at the electrical characteristics in a minute. Our CTR is a minimum 50% at 5 milliamps. That's pretty good. And there are other settings we can make it to change the CTR based on, of course, your milliamps and your voltage. So, but this is why I love this IC. Our isolation is 5 kilovolts. That's what you're going to need to break down that chip, assuming it's in good order. So applications, isolation for MCUs, noise suppression and switching circuits. Signal transmission between circuits is another important one. Between circuits of different potentials and impedances. Think about that for a second. Circuits of different potentials and impedances. So let's say on the one side, we have a 5-volt microcontroller circuit. And on the other side, we have, oh, I don't know, The 5-volt microcontroller, let's say it is controlling some sort of security system that works on 24 volts. No problem. We isolate them from each other. With the PC817, they'll be electrically isolated. And they'll be somewhat, I don't really want to say RF isolated, but these opto-isolators are great for knocking the noise out of a circuit. When you just can't figure out where the noise is coming from, plop one of these in what you think might be the culprit, and if it stops it, well, then you know that's coming in on the power, so you can get in there a little bit deeper. All right, so we already looked at this again on the left side of our chip with the dot in the upper left corner, pin 1 to pin 2. Then on the other side, we have pins 3 and pins 4. And what we want to do is come down here and take a look at our absolute maximum ratings. So 50 milliamps, so you got to keep it relatively low in current. Peak of 1 amp, I'd stay away from that. I'd keep it around 100, 250 milliamps. Somewhere in that package, you're going to end up with a cool IC that runs well. You push it to 1 amp and it'll work, but you know, you're going to shorten its life incredibly. Reverse voltage, it'll take up to 6 volts. Reverse power dissipation, 70 milliwatts. Very little. Collector emitter maximum voltage is 80 volts. Emitter collector voltage is 6 volts. And our collector current again is 50 milliamps. So just, you know, collector power dissipation, it can dissipate 150 milliwatts. So, you know, maybe don't shove an amp through it, okay? Isolation voltage again, 5 kilovolts. And an operating temperature of minus 30 to 100 degrees science. Come down here and look at our electro-optical characteristics. You can see our forward voltage under 20 milliamps is 1.2 to 1.4 volts. Our peak forward voltage is 3 volts. Reverse current 10 microamps. I mean, that's nothing. Our capacitance of terminal capacity, ending capacitance, we're looking at a typical 30 picofarad to 250 picofarad. Collector emitter breakdown voltage, again, we talked about that earlier, that's 80 volts, reverse is 6 volts. And the collector current, what we have here, 2.5 minimum milliamps, 30 maximum. So yeah, keep it low. All right, we're not going to go through the rest of this stuff. It's just a bunch of specs on the different makes of these guys. All right, we have talked about the PC817 now. You understand it. I hope so. Just all you have to remember with this thing is it is a barrier. What happens over here cannot electrically get over here, but we can pass signals. If we feed a signal off of a signal generator, something like a square wave through here, you can definitely make this LED blink. So you can transmit data across this, but you're not going to transmit any power across it, any current across it, basically. Great project, or great IC. Now I have a challenge for you. Can you add a couple of discrete components, and you shouldn't need more than, let's say, 3 more components to make this into an oscillator? If you can, I want to know about it. I want to hear about it down below. And if you would, video yourself doing it, and I will feature them on the channel. How's that sound? I think it sounds like fun. Let's get everybody knowing each other. All right? Cool. So again, that's the PC817, and if you guys enjoyed this video, I really hope you'll give me a thumbs up. Feel free to comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe. Big thanks to all the patrons. Big thanks to you guys for watching. I wouldn't be here without you guys. That's it. I'm out. Peace.